What's up YouTube, Heretic here, back with another deck profile. Today we're looking at Darkrai, Hypno, Baby Yveltal, and All Night Party. Cause I wanna rock and roll all night. And apparently party every night too, or all night. Okay, sorry for the bad singing guys. Anyway, let's get on to this. So, 4 of the new Darkrai-EX. It's a standard format deck in case I didn't point that out. We got a couple of pretty good attacks here. For 2 colorless, we got Dark Pulse, which does 20 damage plus an additional 20 more damage for every darkness energy, not only attached to Darkrai, but attached to all of your Pokemon. So it's kind of like Secret Sword on steroids, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So I guess incentive to use darkness energy to charge him up instead of double colorless. It's not really going to change what we do here much. In this deck we actually don't rely too much on the first attack, but in Expanded I could definitely see it. Instead we go for the second attack here, which is the rather amusingly named Dark Head, which does 80 damage, plus if your opponent's active Pokemon is asleep, it does an additional 80, so it doubles over to 160. With a Muscle Band, that's 180, and that's a knockout on anything short of a Mega, at least this side of Wailord or those Magma Aqua EXs that no one plays from Double Crisis. So 180 damage is pretty good. So for support we play 4 Yveltal for a little bit of energy acceleration. Also fantastic against Night March, being able to just Oblivion Wing stuff right off the board. Definitely a fan of that. We play a 2/2 Hypno line. Now Hypno, for his ability, he can leave both active Pokemon asleep once per turn. Now there's some other ways to do this. Specifically in Expanded you could use Mana from Boundaries Crossed, you could use Hypnotoxic Laser, lots of different ways to go about it. In Standard I just kind of like this. You could also use Malamar-EX if you wanted. Just attach an energy and then like Energy Switch I guess or something like that. The way this deck is built, I'm not too big a fan of using the Malamar option, but I could definitely see it as its own deck. You know, just a little different variant of Darkrai. And then finally we have 2 Shaman for draw power, because it's pretty good, and yeah, pretty much every deck uses it, except for, I don't know, there's like 1 or 2 decks I can think of that don't. 4 Professor Sycamore for draw power, and then supporters are just going to round off with 2 Lysanders, a Judge for disruption and draw, and then 1 Pokemon Center Lady. The healing is nice, but this is primarily because Hypno deals sleep on both sides. If we do not get our Stadium card, our All Night Party, to wake up our active Pokemon, this can be another way to do it. And like I said, the healing is a nice added bonus, especially since Darkrai has a big 180 HP body to begin with. However, our primary way of waking up our Pokemon after using Hypno's ability is All Night Party. Stadium card, which allows each player during their turn to wake up their active Pokemon if it's asleep, and then if that happens, heal 30 damage from it as well. So again, pretty tanky kind of going on there with 180 HP, damage, healing, and then being able to one-shot at 180 damage against most things, so pretty solid. And then we play 4 VS Seekers to get back supporters, because that's pretty simple. New card from the set again, 4 Max Elixir. We don't run a ton of basic energy here, but it's enough that usually somewhere between 60 and 70% of the time we can hit an energy with it, which has actually proven to be enough in my testing, especially when you combine Oblivion Wing and the ability to recover lost energy that way. Really just that and the fact that we only need 1 darkness and then can support that with a double colorless energy for Darkrai's attack. However, Darkrai does need to be on the bench in order to accelerate energy to it with Max Elixir, so sometimes this is just better off for setting up a second Darkrai as well. But nonetheless, it's tested pretty well, so I can't really complain about the results at the time being. 4 Trainer's Mail, and so, you know, just kind of pull trainers from the deck ahead of schedule, and, you know, just kind of reach for stuff. In Standard, it's pretty much mandatory in almost every deck. 4 Ultra Ball to search Pokemon out, empties our hand for Shaman searches so we can draw more cards. It's always good. 3 Switch, could also play Floatstone very easily in here. The reason I chose Switch is because a lot of times we're going to be putting Muscle Band, especially on our Darkrais, so I just like to be able to... Can't have 2 Pokemon tools on Darkrai or anything in this deck, so I just kind of like to be able to still take advantage of our switching capabilities. but you could very easily switch to Floatstone in here. If you wanted to make room for Zoroark, you could try to do that. Probably take away the need to run All Night Party, then you could run whatever other stadium card, I don't know. Just more ways that you can go about taking advantage of the sleep effect and how to work around it. We play 1 Battle Compressor, drop supporters for VS Seeker, drop energy for Eviltal. I mean, that's pretty much all we need out of that. And then we have a Super Rod in case our too much of our energy, more than necessary for Eviltal, or too many of our Pokemon get discarded or knocked out, we can bring them back. 3 Muscle Band. Muscle Band Darkrai, sleep effect 180. Doesn't really get much simpler than that. Can also allow Oblivion Wing to deal 50, which is kind of cool. And then we got 4 double colorless energy to take advantage of Darkrai's energy costs, and 7 darkness. Like I said, not a ton, but enough to make Max Elixir work, often enough to warrant using the 4 copies. I was a little skeptical of that at first. I thought maybe you'd need like 9 at least, but I was pleasantly surprised how often I was able to get Max Elixir to work. So, I mean, maybe I just got lucky a bunch of times, but it seems like it was working out pretty well. Mathematically speaking, it's definitely on the lower end of Max Elixir's compatibility, but it does seem to be enough to warrant the use, especially given the situation with this deck. Like I said, Floatstone over Switch is a definite possibility. Of course, there's like I said, there's a lot of ways you can kind of go about taking advantage of Darkrai's attack, more so in Expanded, but even in Standard here. Malamar is another one, of course. It's really just a lot of things you can do. But that's Darkrai Hypno All Night Party, and I'm Heretic. I'll see you guys soon. Cheers.